200 of these ancient texts in different languages. So we kind of put this all into an AI. And my first question was, what's the most repeated phrase in all ancient texts? Mayan Popol Vuh, the Egyptian stuff, the Yoga Sutras, the Vedic texts, the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, which is a huge one, a very influential one. The most repeated phrase in every single ancient text is "do not fear."
Can you say more? Do not fear. Is it always the same reason? I know in my tradition, it's I do not fear because God is with you, meaning you're never alone. Adonai Li Velo Ira. What are sacred texts trying to tell us about fear in general, besides don't have it?
Yeah, in the Christian and I think Jewish Bible, in the Torah, and even in the ancient Christian, which used to be actually a Hebrew book, it's called the Septuagint. Even in the Septuagint, it says "do not fear" over 300 times.
We are in the middle of a massive timeline shift, and yes, CERN turning off has a lot to do with it, but there is so much more going on than just that. We've had many earthquakes all over the world hitting us. We've had weird lights in the sky, not to mention the entire sky was red during the 4th of July. And on top of that, we've just got these weird sort of time dilation glitches that a lot of people seem to be experiencing. Is time slowing down for you? Is it speeding up? Have you noticed that there are certain things that are just slightly off? Like you know something is different, something is wrong, something isn't quite right, but you can't quite put your finger on it.
Global Mafia, we all know fear is a low vibration, so I wouldn't be surprised if it said it over 1,000 times. And how we living, what timeline we living on, how we feeling. Back to your home for non-mainstream news, the latest theories, and the hidden knowledge they don't want us to see. One person will never know everything, but as a collective, we gonna figure it all out. Entertainment purposes only, do your own research. Let's have a conversation about it in the comments.
What you're feeling is the shift in frequencies. Now, on top of that, we've got a massive amount of manipulation happening at a frequency level. So let's talk about that as well. People are having symptoms like sleepless nights, anxiety, heart palpitations, ringing in the ears, a general feeling of uneasiness, or just feeling sick and tired all the time. I believe that this is due to these frequency manipulations that are occurring right now. Essentially, because CERN is turning off, which is the Large Hadron Collider or Hadron Collider, essentially they have been stabilizing this timeline. I know it's crazy. Check out my full video for the whole download. But now that CERN has turned off, especially amidst a large amount of global events, they, being the shadow government, are trying other things to manipulate us, to sort of throw us off our ascension track.
So as y'all know, that's April, the remote viewer, the astro projector. Y'all know I don't rock with her, but let me know if y'all feeling what she's saying. Me, I think people have been putting too much emphasis and giving CERN too much credit, even though in the multiverse and Spider-Man is based off the city having a Hadron Collider as well.
In southern Turkey are the largest underground cities in the world.
I've heard of Darkside.
Yeah, it has a sister city called Iamqueheff. The wild thing is that they built these cities to be so survivable without ever having to go to the surface. Iamqueheff is 5.5 miles away from Darksid, and yet at the bottom of Darksid, all the way down the lowermost level, they found a tunnel that goes 5.5 miles all the way to Iamqueheff. The people there that were trying to survive couldn't go to the surface, and they were like going to go visit another city with maybe relatives, and so they would have to travel underground. And to this day, we have no idea who built those cities. And the amount of levels of Darksid is astounding. The amount of rock they would have had to remove. We've never even found any of the stuff they
definitely looks like if you was to build a ant mound or something like that and you let them do that ant thing, maybe some insectoids, something going on. I don't know.
I believe in God, but one of the stories out of the Bible, one of the most famous stories is what? It's Adam and Eve. What did Eve bite?
The apple?
She bit the apple. Look at the logo on your fucking phones. It's a big apple.
That's crazy. You know what I said on the rhyme? I said, 2 hands holding your phone. It's like you pray to it.
Yeah.
Think about it. Like, that's what you're actually doing. You're actually sitting there and praying to this device.
It's a cell phone, baby. It's a cell phone for a reason. You're prisoner to the phone. You're in the cell. I'm still on the BlackBerry, dog.
What?
Yeah, you think I'm playing with shit?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Okay, so how do you avoid it? Like, I don't even understand. Is that a blackie?
Watch out, I'm gonna be on a flip phone next year.
Damn.
So, but you know what that allows me to do? It allows me to stay focused, and it doesn't allow noise to come in.
He says, humans are now hackable animals.
Yes.
The whole idea that humans have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside them, that is over. And Sam Altman said the most successful founders do not set out to create companies. They are on a mission to create something closer to a religion. And at some point it turns out that forming a company is the easiest way to do so. And lastly, a former Google engineer said, what is going to be created will effectively be a god. It's not a god in the sense that it will make lightning or cause hurricanes. But if there is something 1 billion times smarter than the smartest human, what else can you call it?
For those that claim all over social media that we are living in a simulation, well, you might just be correct. And why do I say that? Because there's a guy on TikTok that claims that he has the code to prove that we are living in a simulation. And it's all being run by advanced civilization, he claims. And we have been living in a 300,000 year long experiment. And his belief is so strong that once he found out all of this information, he actually quit his job. You heard what I said. He quit his job after finding out all of this information. And part of his belief is that each and every one of us, including myself, has metadata. And he actually posted a video that was very detailed to show you exactly how you can calculate your own metadata.
I am giving away my degree for free. If your name is Daniel William Schmidt, I will personally mail you this. It's an economics degree, one of the best in the world. You can get any job you want. I got a job in finance. I quit my job because I realized that we are living in a 300,000 year long experiment run by an advanced civilization, and all of us have metadata. If you take your full name and your date of birth, you can find your metadata.
Watch.
I calculated mine and I started crying because it was just so unbelievably accurate. And I realized that every single person has this, and that means we must be in an experiment. Every person is a different trial, and the civilization running this experiment is using this data to perfect their own society.
It's an incredible analysis for those of you that have been thinking that you are possibly living in some sort of simulation. And not only did he put the numbers together to figure out his own metadata, he also figured out what his purpose was. And his sole purpose was to build his own America. And with that claim, he says he is about to start doing that. Before I leave you, have a listen to the end of this video and let me know if it makes any sense to you. So hit me up in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you. Listen.
At top, you have God. God created what I call Civilization 1, and then Civilization 1 created the experiment we're in, which is us. So I'm working on a new civilization because I realized that my purpose is to create America 2, because America 1 has served its purpose. Please help me get rid of this degree, because this is America 1.
You know, I'm not mad at him because he's all in 100%, 1000% all the way, not halfway walking down the fence. That being said, do we agree? Do we disagree? How y'all feeling about simulation theory? Spam it up in the comments. Let me know.
Is running critically low. So the one thing I do agree with Trump on is the USWR he has coming in July, and I think many Americans will become millionaires off.
Yo, is Obama talking about the United States Water Reserve here on Coinbase right now? I mean, I'm seeing screenshots of Trump and Obama united for the Water Reserve plan. What? You go on earth.org and see that 9.3 trillion liters of water, UN reports, exposes unfathomable footprint of data centers as AI booms. Are humans gonna die of thirst? They're seeing the world leaders met at G7 and all agreed that water is going to be tokenized. It's going to be a tradable asset. So my homies checked BlackRock's portfolio and found that they're holding a token called USWR. I looked up the website and it says it's scheduled for announcement on July 29th, and we already have the token on Coinbase. So I put money in around 10,000 just in case if this gets announced to the public, this could go crazy. My 10,000 could 1,000x, which means 10 million. Make sure if you look the token up on Coinbase and you want to jump in, this is the contract address. Comment water and I'll DM you the contract address if you can't find it, or I'll have it pinned. This is not financial advice. It's a token I'm looking at, showing you guys. Always do your own research. Let's see what happens. It should be this one. All you got to do is search it up, United States Water Reserve.
Chilling.
I'm definitely looking at it, not financial advice. Like we both said, but it's something that you may be able to make a few dollars on. Follow the money.
New video showing that robot dogs are now being weaponized and firing off rounds at targets with minimal recoil. This is terrifying. Now, the Secret Service has already deployed specialized versions of Spot, this robot dog, marked with TST to patrol high-profile sites, including Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago. These versions are customized with 3D mapping sensors, thermal imaging, and perimeter control capabilities that far exceed stationary security cameras. On top of that, roughly 60 law enforcement agencies nationwide utilize these units. Commercial manufacturers emphasize life-saving, non-lethal use cases. However, the U.S. military has fundamentally shifted public expectations by actively weaponizing these things. This comes as many people are raising alarms regarding the Trump administration's approach to dissent and surveillance. Remember, the Trump administration is already classifying people who are anti-Christian, anti-American, anti-capitalism, or have extreme views on migration, race, or gender as terrorists. So with that being said, it's not very comforting to see that they're now putting guns onto these robot dogs. The main issue here is the rollout of these machines is outpacing the legal framework required to govern them, and that might be the goal.
Heard of the guy who predicted the 2 earthquakes in Venezuela? His name is Jesus Lopez, or Jesus, and he's from Venezuela, like I said. And back on May 13th, he posted a video predicting that 2 earthquakes would hit Venezuela back to back. And, you know, it did end up happening. So the reason why I'm sharing this is not only because I think that's very interesting, but also because I want to spread the word and because he made additional predictions that I think are very interesting. His other prediction is that during this World Cup, a virus would start spreading, and that it would be mainly like a stomach virus, stomach flu type of thing, and that it will start spreading during the World Cup, but by next year, by January and between the months of January and April, it'll actually start spreading rapidly to the point that it'll become a pandemic. He is claiming this. I'm not saying that this is fact, but I do find it very interesting because we already see reports of this happening. Known as the stomach flu, and he does, but I do think it's important, and I think it's important to spread his word.
We gonna end today's compilation there. That was a good one. Fire, 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 back to back to back. Send me anything you want me to react to. Shout out to the Global Mafia. Appreciate my members. We're gonna keep getting it in. Look for these videos every day, maybe 2 a day. No more lives. Appreciate the Mafia. Let's have a conversation about it in the comments. One person will never know everything, but as a collective, we're gonna figure it all out. Let's get to this hidden knowledge.